Boom! I know. I'll be very frank with you. It's not something I'm proud of. But it happens. And when it does, you have to roll with the punches, is what it is. Guys, I'm over here at my office at Simosson Building, plot number 8585 on Simon Mwewa Lane. This broadcast was slated to begin at, initially I said 12, at a couple of meetings that I had to attend. I pushed it further down to 12:15, and boom, here I am, 12:17, 2 minutes late. That's 120 seconds, guys. I'm here, though. That's the important thing. Guys, do me a favor. If you could, first of all, tell me if this broadcast is loud and clear, I'd be grateful. And you know that light? I can see it in the corner of my eye. You're late, I know. You know, Namwinga! Namwinga! Can you see the light? It's in the corner of my eye. Jump on real quick. Namwinga! Jump on real quick, guys. That's if she's even there. I doubt that she's even there. I can almost guarantee she's not there. Okay. Where are they when you need them? You know, I'm not going to stand up and then, you know, because can I be honest with you? I haven't tucked my shirt in. Because if I stand up and you'll see that I haven't tucked my shirt in, oh, for goodness sake, let me just do it. And then I need to change. Give me a second to change the light. Okay? Just give me a moment. And then I'll tuck my shirt in as well. I will not give you the satisfaction of seeing my shirt untucked. I'm not doing it. All righty. Right. And then you guys are going to start talking to me about my chair. Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. I did get a different chair. Let me get rid of this. I did. Right. Oh, I'm all right yet. Yeah, I've been out. All right, here it is. I got a different chair. Just for you. Yeah, because you guys were busting my chops. When do I get rid of that wooden chair? Well, I got a brand new chair. Let me just tuck my shirt in here. Antuma. Namwinga. Hello, ni mwani? Oh, ndipa live hapa. Mr. Piri? Live, I'm live. Yeah. All right, here we go. Give me a second. I'm done. Boom! Boy, I tell you what. All righty. Guys, before I get into my broadcast, and like I said, please share this live with people that you think would be interested in this broadcast. I was vlogging earlier today in the State House area along Independence Avenue. For those of you that watched my TikTok this morning, please tell me in the comments if you did. I knew it was risky territory to walk through Independence Avenue while I'm vlogging. I knew it, but I took the risk anyway. And when I did, two officers approached me, and they were very cordial and they were very respectful. And they said, Mr. Mwewa, you know better than this. You know better than to come through here recording. We do not allow recording State House or near the near the Army headquarters. We don't allow that. Please delete your video, go into your recycling bin, make sure everything is gone. And I did exactly as I was told. And as I walked farther down beyond the State House premises, I came across two young guys pushing wheelbarrows. So I stopped to talk to them. And I was asking them, I said, what are you guys doing here? You know? So this guy, I don't know who he was, he just approached me and said, why are you harassing these guys that are pushing wheelbarrows? I said, I'm not harassing them. To me, what you call harassment, I call content and engagement. He said, oh no, you've been harassing people. I watch your videos. And in that very moment, I realized this is one of these people that watches my lives, and they have it in their hearts that one day when I see this Simon, I'm going to give him an earful. I'm going to tell him what I've always wanted to tell him. And there are people like that. So this guy just literally offloaded. He started talking about neocolonialism and Americanism and how the Brits are taking over the world and this, that, and the other. And I said to him, I said, brother, you know what your problem is? Your problem is that you don't like my content, and you have seen an opportunity for you to shout at me and to sort of give me an earful and to tell and throw me the riot act. But in all fairness, he was very eloquent. He's probably university educated just from the way he was speaking. And but although he did sound like a radicalized individual, he's radicalized. He's against every. He walks around with a gigantic chip right here on his shoulder. Anyway, oh, by the way, did you guys hear? And I was so happy to hear this. I just read this a few minutes ago. Matero, I call him now the content king. He is hilarious. Matero has given his wife the brand new Hilux that he won. Isn't that beautiful? Now that is a good man right there. That's a good man, and only a good man will only give a Hilux, wait for it, to a good woman. Ooh, that's deep there, boy. Some of you caught that. You can't be, if you're not a good woman, you don't get the Hilux. If you're not a good mother to the children, you don't get the Hilux. But if you're a good woman, you're faithful, you love your home, your husband, you get the keys. You get the keys to the car and much more. I'll never forget, the night that he won at Mulungushi, and we were leaving, after all the festivities and all, I was leaving the Mulungushi center. I was walking over to my car. I didn't realize that the car behind me was his, because, it was dark. All of a sudden, I see this guy running towards me, and then he just literally just jumped on me, jumped on me and just grabbed me and said, "My fellow nominee." And I realized it was him. And in that moment, I thought, oh, my battery's flat, because, we'd been vlogging all night. And I was thinking, I wish we caught this on camera. Him jumping on me. He was so happy. And so I said to him, I said, can I sit in the car? He said, no, Mr. Mwewa, go in there. My wife is in there. Just sit in the car there. So I got in the car. I turned on the lights, and his wife was sitting right there, because I'd been speaking to her earlier. Earlier, I didn't realize that was his wife. So I said to him, I said, I asked her in the Mulungushi, I said to her, I said, are you a content creator? And she said, no. He said, yeah, she told me. And it's a beautiful car, and I can't think of a person more deserving than him, honestly, really. And I call him now the content king. Congratulations, Matero. We love you. Guys, let's talk about Ethel Chisono. Now, for me to bring you up to speed, I need to go all the way back. Otherwise, you will not understand what I'm talking about. Ethel Chisono is a Zambian-born woman that has recently become, there you go, a naturalized American citizen. Now let's be clear. Naturalized means you go through a legal process in order to become a citizen of a country. For instance, in Ethel Chisono's case, she married an American, which, to be honest with you, that relationship was a farce. The whole thing was based on falsities, and And I think American immigration should take a closer look at that, because marriage fraud is a thing in America. I mean, people get married for the sole purpose of becoming or getting a green card or something like that. So Ethel became an American citizen through the avenue of naturalization. She went through a legal process that eventually bestowed her the title of American citizen, although she is a dual citizen. That means she's a Zambian citizen as much as she is an American citizen. Now, Ethel, people don't realize this, and people have sort of testified. They've said, you know, for all intent and purposes, Ethel is a benevolent girl. You know, she's very giving, and you know, she's very known in the Zambian community, in the diaspora, specifically in New York City. New York, as many other states all over America, New York has a huge Zambian community, you know, and amongst the Zambians there, Ethel is known as this benevolent girl. Zambians know her as, you know, if you're in trouble, go to Ethel. She'll help you, you know. But somewhere along the line, she sort of lost her way, and she somehow convinced herself that the disdain and the anger that she has towards the head of state somehow led her to a place where she began to threaten the head of state. She began to use the most unpalatable language against the head of state. And this is what I don't understand. I think guys, it is possible to disagree without being profanely disagreeable. Ooh, that's deep. That's so deep, boy. You're going to need something to take you down there. It's so deep. Ooh, so deep I can't see the bottom of it. It's so deep. I even forgot what I said. But my point is, it's possible to politically disagree, be on the other side of the political spectrum. It's very possible to be on the other side without hurling threats and insults. Let me tell you where Ethel has gone wrong, is where she threatened the head of state. Any head of state you threaten, you become a person of interest. You go to America, just say you are going to do A, B, C, D to Donald Trump. You become a person of interest. CIA, FBI will be at your door saying, excuse me, Mr. So-and-so. And on top of that, you're a Zambian. We are threatening the head of state. So Ethel took it upon herself, you know, to hurl all of these threats. When you know, at some point he said, at some point she said she was going to abduct and harm the president's children. At one point she said she was going to perform a procedure against the head of state. She was going to physically harm him. And she demonstrated the way that she was going to do it. All of those things are dangerous to say, because people pay attention to that. And you become a clear and present danger. And anytime the state, when you appear on the state's radar as a person that is a clear and present danger, they'll longer you. Now, what is strange is that even after Ethel did all of this, she went on her Facebook page and she said, because she's an American citizen, nothing would happen to her. I don't know where she got that harebrained idea. Honestly, really, I have no idea where she pulled that out of. Ethel went on her Facebook page and she said, I'm an American citizen, I can't be touched. You Zambians can't touch me. I'm thinking, Ethel, You're born in this country. Umutoto washala kuno. You know the umutoto? Mutoto. Bashika kuno. Do you know the umbilical cord? When it dries up, when you were born here on this land, on this territory, umutoto, your umbilical cord, after it dried up, was buried here in the homeland. Yes, you may have become an American citizen later on, but the true country of your birth, the true authentic you, is here. So it was a bit disingenuous for Ethel to start talking about how the Americans, if Zambia police were to touch Ethel seemed to think that the American army would rise up and come to her rescue. In Donald Trump's America? You must be joking. In Donald Trump's America? You think Donald Trump's America is going to rise and set guns blazing for you? You've got to be out of your cotton picking mind. That's not going to happen. Okay? It's simply not going to happen. So she decides to come back to Zambia for whatever harebrained reason. And she was arrested. Now she's in police custody awaiting trial. This is what I want to share with you. There are Zambians who are living in the diaspora, led by a man by the name of Harry Sakala, who is, for all intent and purposes, he used to be PF, now he's UPND. Suggestions are that he's gone back to PF. This is a Zambian that lives in New York City who has galvanized Zambians within New York City to raise funds to pay Ethel's lawyers. Now, here's the interesting part. Henry Sakala has said Ethel needs 300,000 kwacha to be represented by a lawyer here in Zambia. They've set up a group and they have asked the group to start donating money in order to accumulate and gather funds to send to a lawyer here in Zambia to represent Ethel. The lawyer that was selected initially was KBF's once vice president. I forget his name. Tell me his name in the comments. Who was the vice president of KBF's party? Tell me his name, just so that we're clear. So the idea was this group of Zambians, led by Henry Sakala in New York City, the idea was, let's galvanize, let's mobilize 300,000 kwacha, or the equivalent of 300,000 kwacha, send it to KBF's once vice president, so that that lawyer can represent Ethel during her trial. To date, not a single kwacha has been raised. Not a single dollar has been deposited in that group. Not a single kwacha. So, which brings up the question, if Ethel once said the American government would break down doors and come in with both guns blazing because she's been arrested for crimes that she has committed against the Zambian head of state. And make no mistake, that is not partisan politics. That applies to anyone. You say what Ethel said on social media or anywhere, you'll be arrested. Why? It's not freedom of speech. There's nothing like that. Freedom of speech is not free. There is a price tag attached to it, even in America. Go to America. Threaten Donald Trump. You be talking to us from a 2x2 cell. Is that freedom of speech? No. There are laws. Laws that you and I have to abide by. Okay? Let's be clear. So my point is, and to be honest with you, I think this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for these guys to raise money and then to share amongst themselves. This lawyer that was KBF's vice president, if in fact he's given that money, if they raise it, which they won't, because to date, not a single kwacha, not a single dollar has been deposited in that account in order to aid Ethel. If they raise 300,000 kwacha, which they will not, which I doubt they will, that money is going to be shared amongst these chaps. It will be used as a backdrop to siphon money. The young girl is behind bars. Who's to say that they will come out and say, no, actually we've received 300,000 kwacha, this is the amount, these are our fees, and this is how we're going to use them. No, these chaps are just going to chew that money because they know she's in big trouble. And they're going to use her calamity to make money. But so far, not one kwacha has been raised towards that effort. What is the lesson here, Vane? Remove Hakainde Hichilema from the equation. Let's just talk about the presidency, the office of the presidency, because I know some of you get caught up in, especially PF surrogates. The moment PF surrogates see Hakainde Hichilema, their heads blow off and their eyes become red and they start growing horns. We know you hate him, okay? So remove HH. Let's just talk about the presidency. In my lifetime, I have never seen what is, and the people that brought this culture were the PF. The PF were the ones that brought this culture of insele, shidiensele. Shiyesha musalu la shidiecha kuti na abana bayiche baletuka bakalamba. Chalo twikala munomba. Ifo de twale kula abana tabaletuka bakalamba. Hey. Ede chonga walanda walufyani. Iyo ichote nalandecho. Abana tabatuka na bakalamba. Nomba twali kwa techile chisela. A culture that was spawned by PF, that is the culture that they have ingrained in the psyche of our young people, to where if you don't like the president, you insult him. No. If you don't like the president, talk about the policies. No one will arrest you. But we have laws that say if you threaten the head of state, you become a person of interest. Young people, don't be deceived. Don't be hoodwinked. Don't be bamboozled. Don't follow these chaps. Air your opinions, but do them within the circumference of the law. If you do that, you'll be heard. But if you don't, you'll be talking to us from a 2x2, and that will be your own Waterloo. Those are bars. 2x2, Waterloo. All right. Thought I'd share that with you guys. God bless. Bye.